Anxiety. If someone were to ask me what the biggest challenge that I face when prepping for a natural bodybuilding competition season is, that would be it. Many of us experience anxiety in varying degrees and feel and handle it differently too. I'll be super honest and open and say that I tend to be the kind of person that can probably be best described as prone to being high anxiety. My tendency is to worry. During a natural bodybuilding competition prep, upon many months of dieting and getting leaner and leaner and leaner, I find that the stress that I experience from anxiety tends to become more pronounced and difficult to manage. That being so, something that I've learned is that anxiety and the stress that comes from it doesn't have to be something that has to dominate our lives. We don't have to sit by idly as passengers and allow ourselves to be consumed by the feelings of stress and anxiety. See, anxiety is something that we can actually learn and practice how to manage in an ordered way so that it doesn't end up consuming as much of our lives as we might think is inevitable. In this video, while showing you some footage of my latest gym workout, I'm going to share a little bit more about my personal experience with anxiety and how I've been learning and practicing how to manage it amidst my current natural bodybuilding competition prep. And hopefully in doing so, it might be relatable and even helpful for you if you found yourself also at times struggling with stress from anxiety the way that I have. Before we jump into it, if you find yourself enjoying the video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out. Okay, let's dive in. My default is to worry. I'll give you an example. Next month, I'm moving out of my apartment to a spot that's about a 35-minute drive away. Since first deciding on and planning on going through with the move about a month ago, my mind has been drawn to fixating on every tiny detail that will be involved with the move. Now, I'll mention that focusing on the details of things can actually be incredibly helpful, definitely. In the context of moving, doing so will ensure that I'm prepared when the time comes to move. And I think that attention to detail has actually served me well in all contexts that involve any type of preparation. Like when I was in music school, because I would worry and think so much about the details of future events like auditions, juries, recitals, and concerts, I'd be very inclined to prepare and practice for them well in advance. That was a good thing. It also has been a big asset when it comes to preparing for natural bodybuilding competitions. Competing takes many, many months of diligent preparation, and because I fixate on the future events like those competitions, I make darn sure that I don't skip a beat on any of the preparation that's involved. So, in terms of driving me to be prepared, my default to fixate on small details and actually to worry has served me quite well. That being so, it has been a double-edged sword. Not only do I have a tendency to think ahead and worry about the things that are in my control and that I can concretely prepare for, I also tend to worry about things that I can't control. And that's the big problem. When it comes to moving next month, I prepared for pretty much everything that I have the power to do so with. I've got my moving truck reserved. I've arranged for people to come help me on the scheduled moving day. I've been steadily bringing smaller things into storage before the big move day to make that day easier, and so on. You get the idea. I've planned and prepared pretty much everything that I can ahead of time. But my tendency is to start worrying about details that I can't really prepare for. Like about how I'll simply feel on the moving day, being a month deeper into my prep, having to move couches and things around. Like, will I feel tired, weak, and hungry? Or to worry about things like how I'll manage getting an early workout in on the morning of the move. Or what it will be like if it snows hard on the day of the move. Those kinds of details. I'm using my upcoming move as an example, But my tendency has been to worry like that for most upcoming events that have taken place in my life, including bodybuilding competition preps. I'm talking about worrying about all of the tiniest, most minuscule things that, in retrospect, aren't worth missing a fraction of a second of sleep for. I'm talking about second-guessing myself about incorrectly weighing my food after I've just finished eating it. Or if I don't hit my rep target during an exercise set, that I'll start to lose muscle. Or from trying to plan the tiny details weeks or months ahead of social meals with friends or family. My 2021 prep was probably the most negatively impacted of all of the 5 preps I've done, including this one, in regard to worrying and feeling anxiety. Ultimately, the amount of worrying, second-guessing, and stress that I experienced not only led me to have a less than fantastic experience, but it also led me to have a less than fantastic stage physique for that competition. See, the mental and emotional stress definitely had a very physical effect on me. It physically manifested itself. My 2023 prep, a few years later, was a significant improvement upon 2021's anxiety-fueled extravaganza. By that point, I had a much better understanding of how negatively impactful my worrying could be. And with that active awareness, I tried to push back on it. I was far from perfect, but I did a significantly better job at managing my stress simply by trying to let go of things that were outside of my control. Having a great natural bodybuilding coach for that prep played a big role in leaving me with extra peace of mind too. That coach being Jeff Alberts from Team 3DMJ, who I've been working with since then at the end of 2022 and who I'm continuing to work with now as I prep for my 2026 season. Having a wise mentor has undeniably been helpful for me in terms of guiding my stress management. But again, all that to say, with some pretty significant stressors within that prep, my stress management was still far from perfect. A big improvement, but still far from perfect. Here I am now in the 6th month of my 5th ever competition prep, and so far, it's been different. In fact, one of my big goals for the prep since the very beginning has been to stay in the present and to fight any urges I have to excessively worry about the future. Here's the burning question. How? How are you worrying less? How are you fighting your natural draw to feel anxious? 3 words. Surrender, detachment, and gratitude. I'm actively trying to surrender and detach myself from everything that's outside of my control. See, that's been one of my biggest issues. I would unrealistically try to find ways to get in control of things that I would have zero capacity to take control of. And the mental and emotional pushback of not being able to take control of things that are outside of my control would leave me feeling no shortage of anxiety. So naturally, I've learned that the solution is to do the opposite. Instead of trying to control every single detail, I'm trying to surrender myself to all of the details I can't possibly take control of, and to detach myself from any possible outcome that isn't in my control, and even attempting to detach myself from my own ego to the extent that I'm capable of doing so anyways. That includes the prospect of getting a high placing and or winning competitions in my 2026 season, among the many other outcome details. Now, as far as gratitude goes, listing out the things I'm grateful for, like first thing in the morning and right before I go to bed, has been key too. See, anxiety for me is largely rooted not only in worrying about future details that I might not have control over, but also in having this false sense of scarcity. The reality is that I have an abundance. I have so much to be thankful for. So reminding myself of all of the things that I should feel grateful for and that I do feel grateful for overrides my feelings of scarcity, and that's been super important for me. There hasn't been a trick to this, to be honest. It's been more or less just ongoing practice of keeping the concepts of surrender, detachment, and gratitude top of mind. I think about those principles multiple times throughout the day and actively try to keep them at the center of my mind. And if I start to find myself excessively worrying, like about the small details of my upcoming move, for example, I try to change the direction of my thinking. Easier said than done? Yes, absolutely. But I'm making some serious progress. And if I compare my frame of mind or my level of peace of mind to any prep I've done before this one, I'm in a significantly better place. And it's only getting better. And there you have it. A short summary of my experience with anxiety and what I've been doing to overcome it. Hopefully in sharing it with you, you might find it to be at least a little bit relatable and helpful, especially if you found yourself struggling with anxiety too. If you have any questions or feedback about anything that I've shared in this video, please feel free to drop it all in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to respond. Before this video comes to a close, I wanted to quickly let you know about the work that I do. When I'm not making YouTube videos, recording podcast episodes, and making Instagram content, I work full-time as an online physique coach where I help my clients to accomplish their muscle growth and fat loss goals by optimizing their approach to strength training and nutrition, and I coach them through the process. I've been doing this work for over 7 years and love helping my clients to not only transform their bodies, but ultimately their lives. If you've been considering getting some help with accomplishing your own physique goals, feel free to hit the link in the description below where you can learn a little bit more about the work that I do and how I can help you. You can even use that link to schedule a free video consultation with me. If you have any questions about my coaching or how it can help you, just email me at sam@jadeathletics.ca. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.